15 minutes ago, I was ready to quit being a dog trainer forever. I have the option to use a harsh punishment and shut this dog down like that. Today is the day. Now, you might remember this dog park we're at right now. We've been here once before. I like to come to dog parks because it allows me to train around dogs but have a distinct barrier between us so that I can modify the distance more easily between him and dogs. But you might remember the last time that I brought Chop here. I thought he was ready, but it was more or less a complete disaster. I mean, when he sees dogs, he is like, I've got to get to them. Jeez. I don't think he's going to pay attention at all. So today, I'm really changing my game plan. Rather than just approaching the dog park, I'm gonna take my own advice. The slower I go, the faster my results will be, at least on paper. I mean, that is the hypothesis, and my entire reputation depends on that working. The whole point of this is to show him that we expect him to behave a certain way when in public, and he'll have time to play with dogs, just like we let him play with inertia, and in his new home, they can do outings like this all the time. But my job is to get him to pay attention when he's distracted by other exciting things. But it's not just the dog park dogs over here. We have dogs coming and going over here. I'm hoping to get to a point with him where I can have him check out the distractions, the things that interest him, and also get his attention on me at some point. There are a ton of dogs out here today. And pretty much straight away, Chop becomes extremely excited by dogs way in the distance. Chop loves his kibble so much, so I've been using that to train him pretty much exclusively all the way up to this point. And his training has been going really well. You'd be really surprised how when you use at least one meal a day to train your dog, what kind of results you can get. Now, for Chop, he's a big boy, a meal is like at least 2 cups for him. So it has to be something that tastes really good to him, so he's motivated to work for it. That's important because you want to be able to hold their attention by luring them or directing their attention to you or a variety of other things. Now, I've noticed that Chop in particular is extremely receptive to that really high quality kibble. Solid Gold is super nutritious premium kibble that he loves, and they have a particular emphasis on gut health, which is a big deal because it has a massive effect on your dog's health overall. And really, these guys make a ton of quality products that really promote optimal health for your dog. So I'm gonna have a link in the description where you can check out their various products, including their top-notch kibble at solidgoldpet.com/Zach. So I'm a little discouraged. This is 0 progress from last time so far. I sometimes just like to get down on their level, see the world from their perspective. What are they looking at? Going back and forth here between this dog and that dog. There's the leaning. I really like it when he leans on me, because that means he's not putting his energy leaning forward towards the dogs, you know? But see there, he's leaning less and now starting to, see? Easy, relax, buddy. Now, when I'm dealing with a reactive dog, my strategy is to focus on 3 main aspects. Number 1, management. I have to make sure that I control the dog to keep anything from getting worse. Secondly, I have to give them desensitizing around whatever it is that causes them to behave that way. And finally, I've got to either condition them or counter condition them to have a more ideal emotional response around these things that cause him to feel so anxious. By the way, I break all of this down in my second book, Guide to a Well-Behaved Dog. I'm gonna have a link below if you want to check it out. So right now, since we have recently gotten to this location, I'm relying heavily on management, keeping control of him. And in theory, I'll be able to implement desensitizing and conditioning as he adjusts. Okay. At this point, we are what I would consider very far from other dogs, and to be completely transparent, I'm downright surprised that he's reacting this way with dogs at this vast distance from him. Let's move over here. There's still a lot of value here. I mean, my whole purpose for coming out here is just to let him look at dogs without barking as much as possible. Ideally not at all, but that went out the window immediately. And so as Chop continues to struggle with being in this environment, I'm really just trying to process it and come up with a plan that is going to give us the best results during this training session. Right now, I think I'm best to just park here and just let him look. How many outbursts is that? And at this point, look, I know you guys are counting these number of outbursts right here. And I know there are fellow positive dog trainers out there that are saying, Zach, why are you allowing this to happen right now? And I also have balanced dog trainers in the comments saying, Zach, you should be using a choke chain, a prong collar, or an e-collar to get this dog under control and correct him now. On that note, yes, I have the option to use a harsh punishment and shut this dog down like that if I wanted to. And that's where the confusion often lies with training sessions like this. My goal isn't to get him to stop barking and lunging right now. My actual goal is to address Chop's underlying emotional state. See, the barking and lunging is nothing more than a symptom. Correcting that doesn't correct the emotional state of Chop. So rather than manhandling him and forcing him to do something, I really want to motivate him to behave a certain way from the inside outward. I really thought that based on my last training experience with him in this environment that I had a surefire plan to address this issue and get our training session started off on the right foot. Come here. Over here, buddy. Come on. It's okay. I just gotta tell you guys the truth and level with you. I'm feeling completely dejected in this moment. My wife actually had to stop the shoot to give me a pep talk.
You don't see very much progress at all from last time.
Mm-mm.
But like, this is the next time.
I know. I read the comments of my videos and goodness, you'd be surprised at how many people can resolve a complex issue like this in one day. It's been many days and I'm genuinely struggling with Chop here. The point is, like, I have, over the last few days, I've really been working with him on basic communication, but it is not translating into this type of environment, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And you have been working really hard. I can see why that would be discouraging.
Oh.
But still, this is our next time out here. We don't not show you guys in between times. So
Yeah.
Of course he's not that much better because this is the next time.
Right? Yeah.
This is what it looks like. Let's see what happens by the end of today.
With a renewed attitude and a pep talk from Bree, I realized that I really need to take a step back, reevaluate, and adjust. All right, you know what? I think I just need to let him move a little bit, even if he is gonna act crazy. Let me go do a quick walk around the fence. I'll just keep really good control of him, but clearly I have to let him satisfy some of his curiosities right now. I'm going to reiterate this. It matters to me that I focus on some way to provide relief to this underlying emotional condition, which in this case appears to be excessive excitement that's turning into anxiety because he's on leash and he seems to be frustrated that he can see so many dogs and not be able to meet them. He grew up wandering the streets where he could approach any dog that he wanted, but if he's going to assimilate to be a good partner with people, he's got to feel confident and willing to pay attention to those people. That's my real goal, not to stop this behavior directly, but to teach him how to willingly and enthusiastically pay attention to me and other people. There you go. Chop, chop. When I'm down here hanging out with him at his level, he seems to appreciate it more. He does seem to relax a little bit. I'm not saying this would work for every dog, but for him, this is a form of attention, even though I'm not getting his eyes. This leaning behavior, it feels like love. It does. He's so trusting. I mean, I'm not holding him back at all right now. You see, there's no tension on the leash. So, I mean, that's a victory. Hey, here. Yes. First eye contact of the lesson. I want to offer him a reward. Okay, a little interested. There he goes, he's eating it. I mean, I've always said that the closer you are to your dog, the more likely they are to pay attention to you in the beginning anyway. That seems to be true with him as well. He likes it when I get down here. Chop is a little more engaged with me now. While he seems to be getting a little more laid back here, let me see if I can do some general leash/heel training with him. Hey, let's go this way. We're at the end of the dog park where there aren't many other dogs right now, but Chop is definitely still aware that they're in there somewhere. The fact that he's starting to give me some little sparks of attention is huge. I want to capitalize on any glimmers of attention that he gives me in this environment today. I haven't used his ball yet because he's been so excited. I didn't want to just prod him with the ball, but let me see if he's receptive to playing with the ball now. Here, look at me. Yes. Okay, cool. He's willing to engage with the ball. Now I've got a currency. Now I've got his attention. Let's do some training. Look at me. Yes. Good. Here. Good turn. By the way, this isn't just any ball. This ball has actual natural scents that are embedded in it. And I think it might be Chop's favorite possession at the moment. It's made by Playology. I'm gonna have a link in the description. Now, throughout this training lesson, Chop has been in and out. well, let's be honest, he's been mostly out. But as this lesson goes on, I'm noticing this very subtle trend where he's starting to give me more and more attention voluntarily in this setting, which is the key point. So the next time that he gives me his attention, I really need to seize on that and see if I can get him to focus on me for a solid 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, by working on things that we've laid the foundation for over these last many days. Yes! He's letting go. Come here. Look at that. Look at that leash walking. Good. We're gonna turn. Here, ready? Oh, look, did you see that turn? Look at that attention. Yes. Good man. Okay, we got a dog right here. I'm gonna let him check out the dog. A lot of give and take here when you're doing this. If he's showing me that he's willing to try periodically, as he has throughout this lesson, then I've also got to let him check out that awesome dog. Here. Okay, can't get his attention yet. Understandable, that dog's very close, but I'm just gonna manage him here, let him look at the dog. Chop's interest is definitely peaked in this other dog, and we're really close to them. But so far, he's behaving relatively calmly, although he is extremely alert and highly focused on that other dog right now. I mean, look at his tail, how it's up. Look at those ears, how they're directed towards that other dog, and look how uninterested in me he is right now. However, he's not having a full-on reaction, which is good, but he is borderline. Good man. Doing a good job. I'm doing my best to encourage him to be calm by using a calm voice and petting him very softly here. The reason I'm not creating distance from that other dog right now is because I feel like that might trigger his reactivity. At this point, my goal isn't to achieve rock-solid obedience with Chop. My goal is to allow him to satisfy his curiosity by observing a dog at close range without pulling my arms out of my sockets. I'm getting leaning behavior again. Let me see, a little bit.
Yeah, so
Yep, it's okay. As soon as I stand up, Chop has a hard time again, though. Remember what we talked about earlier? The farther I am from Chop, the harder it is for him to listen, even just this much further. All right, let's give him some space. You're a good man, there we go. Interesting. Still not ideal since Chop did have that outburst, but I do feel like we're making progress and we're getting closer and closer to success. He does go back and behave a bit more calmly as we move away just a couple of feet. That's an improvement. So I've let him look at the dogs a good long while now. All I want is his attention. Chop, here. Good. Okay. He's really looking at this dog who's just feet away, and I'm not holding him back, and he's continuing that leaning behavior on me. And the dog walked away, and that's huge. Good job, buddy. And rather than give him frantic praise and good boy, I'm gonna try to keep his mood subdued. If you would have asked me 10 minutes ago if I was gonna get a loose leash this entire time out here, I think I would have been like, no way. A minor scuffle just broke out over there in the dog park, something that normally seems to excite him, and he's really holding it together well right now. Honestly though, like 15 minutes ago, I was ready to quit being a dog trainer forever. Throughout this lesson, he's been barking and lunging. We refer to that as a dog who is over their threshold. Today, he got above his threshold a little bit more than I would like. That's the downside of this lesson, that's on me. However, we still were able to make some progress, so I feel good about that as well. He's in a manageable state right now. Right now, he is not above threshold while dogs are nearby. Working with a dog like Chop on an issue like this can absolutely be overwhelming for you and even for me. This is normal. And I hope all of you realize that when you do have a rocky day of training with your dog, you are definitely not alone. What's working for me in this lesson is that I have upped my patience level. I've become more empathetic with Chop. Far from perfection, but you can start to see an angle here that we can use to make progress on this. Come on, Chop. Good. Love it. Love it. For something a little bit more fun now, and giving you guys one more chance to guess what Chop's breed mix is, because his breed reveal is coming very soon. Whoa! This is Reality Dog Training. Subscribe, click the bell so you never miss an episode. Get a great deal on select Solid Gold products too by using my special link, solidgoldpet.com/Zach. I'll have the details in the description. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and get both of my books too. We'll see you next time.